What is up guys, it is Ross, and welcome back to another Mario Kart Wii Limitless developer commentary and vehicle showcase. The randomizer today has given me the JETSETTER. One of the more vanilla faithful vehicles, if not one of the most vanilla faithful vehicles. Getting kind of owned here, and I'm pulling a single red shell for my troubles. First of all, you'll realize that I'm using automatic drift, and the Wario bike just throws me into a wall. Ross, I hear you ask, why are you using automatic drift? And the reason for this is because, for fuck's sake, the reason for this is because JETSETTER in the vanilla game has something of a niche for being an automatic oriented vehicle. In wider karting circles, this thing is widely considered to be better on automatic than it is for manual. Or at the very least, automatic has its place. I think in time trials the two of them are roughly interchangeable, but I think online auto is pretty firmly better. Which is obviously, you know, a very interesting concept to take a vehicle. So in Limitless, we were obviously sure to reference this. JETSETTER is like a bit of a meme in the broader Mario Kart Wii community, just because of how much it sucks for what is the final vehicle you're going to unlock, right? Oh, it's the hardest vehicle in the game to unlock. Why is it shit? The karting community has kind of found a place for these auto vehicles. The broader Mario Kart Wii community might not know this, but auto vehicles actually have quite a big underground following in, like, karting circles. It's, like, I know I'm laughing a lot, but it really is, like, cool to think about. And so, because of that, we decided to keep that faithful in Limitless, like. So, basically, the four styles of driving in vanilla are all represented in Limitless. Like, inside drifting bikes are represented by the Flame Runner, outside drifting bikes are represented by the Phantom, karts are represented by the Flame Flyer, and auto is represented by the JETSETTER. You'll notice as well that its drift arc is also, like, the way it handles and its drift arc are also pretty close to vanilla. I don't think it's an exact one-for-one replica, because JETSETTER is actually quite a bit faster than it is in vanilla, so its handling has had to be tightened in order to sort of compensate for that in a way. That aside, JETSETTER has a fair few similarities to its vanilla counterpart. That being said, Limitless does take auto vehicles in a sort of unique direction, as it were. Auto vehicles in Limitless are what we call corsas. And the main reason they're called corsas is because they are sort of inspired by real-life driving. Obviously, they lack mini-turbos, which is a very big feature in a kart racer. And so because they lack mini-turbos, they have to be very, like, fast naturally in order to combat that disadvantage. And obviously, when you can't charge mini-turbos, your driving lines matter a lot more, and thus it becomes a lot more like a racing simulator than a kart racer, and thus the term corsa was born. You can see that I kind of don't want to be in a drift a lot of the time, because its handling often gets the job done. But obviously, when you can get away with drifting, you know, you should, like that turn there. So you can see there, 92 km/h just by holding the A button. Obviously that's an incredible speed to be going at. But like I've said, you do kind of need that, because obviously you don't have the power of willfully generating mini turbo boosts. So on turns, this thing doesn't really get the same kind of reward that other vehicles get. You're sort of... The whole draw to corsas is that you're going at a constant speed. You don't have to worry about mini turbos like carts with high mini turbo stats or bikes with high mini turbo stats. You don't need to worry about wheelies like bikes, and you don't need to worry about snaking like carts. You just sort of go fast efficiently. And the fact that you're going at a constant speed means that they're like track obstacles like ramps that can throw other vehicles off. Corsas really enjoy those because it means that basically their mini turbo weakness is being shored up in the moment, which is what they need, basically. Also, another advantage of automatic drift is the fact that you can just turn without losing a lick of speed. And so, despite JETSETTER lacking mini turbos to expand its lead relative to other vehicles, it is a surprisingly difficult vehicle to overtake because of the fact that it has that level of instant maneuverability without punishment. You can just swerve into people, and you can and you will get away with it, especially if you're trailing items. Many people in the community consider a corsa trailing an item to be one of the most obnoxious things in the game to deal with. And that's completely fair. Like, Corsas don't have mini turbos, so they kind of need that pressure ability in order to back up their raw speed. If they couldn't heckle other racers for trying to overtake them, what would be the point? They would just get left in the dust by mini turbos. And so the fact that they do have that option is a nice dogfighting measure that they can use to put up a fight. And I personally think that that's a pretty interesting way that the vehicles can combat other vehicles, as it were. There have been patches where Corsas have been way too fast for their own good, and when they get to the front, they're just unstoppable, because nobody can catch them, nobody can contest them, and they're not going to mess up, because like you're just holding A and tapping directions. But nowadays I think we've hit the appropriate balance. And if anything, I'd argue Corsas are sort of in the twilight of their careers a little bit. Last patch they were definitely on the weaker end, and while they have received buffs in this patch, they definitely do need to work a lot harder than they did back when they were at their most infamous, like Season 1 and Season 4. This is a terrible track for me to showcasing JETSETTER on, because mini turbos are very prominent on this track. But you know what? The CPU sucks so much that it's honestly, like, you know what? I'll take it. Also, one thing's worth noting, that even though Corsas have exceptionally high base speed, and they don't get punished for swerving when they have that high base speed, their acceleration rate at high thresholds is very, very low for other relative to other vehicles, which is something to keep in mind. Even though their top speed is incredibly good, it takes them multiple seconds to reach that top speed, so keep that in mind. This is another reason why JETSETTER and the other Corsas really appreciate boost panels, because it allows them to bypass that weakness. Speaking of boost panels, fucking phenomenal track to showcase the JETSETTER on, DK Summit. The DK Summit theme, the song that plays over this track is basically the Corsa anthem at this point. It's kind of funny to think about. This does mean that I get to talk about JETSETTER's volatile physics though. As you saw there, I just could not stick to the ground to save my life. I was tempted to just remove this weakness altogether from JETSETTER because that does plague it, but as it turns out, vanilla fans actually quite like JETSETTER's bounciness, so for the sake of keeping it faithful, I decided to just leave it in. Like, that can just be an additional challenge for people to work around if they really want it, you know? Yeah. Oh, come on. You know what? This is fine, because it means I can stick to the road now and do this. So that's fine. That didn't happen, y'all didn't see that. Is that a ground star? Hell yeah! Ground star just vibing in the marshmallow juice. I'll take it, I'll take it. That time I nailed it. And there was a pow, so I was able to do it under the stress of having to pow dodge. I think that's skillage in the village, if you ask me. So that just about does it for the JETSETTER developer commentary in Mario Kart Wii Limitless. I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to check out the previous parts if you haven't already, and the next parts when they come out. And until next time, this is Ross, signing out. Goodbye.